watching Apex News India.
Good evening viewers, this is Apex News India. I am Deepika S. Lingdo welcoming you to the news. Let us first take a look at the headlines. And now the news in detail. Unidentified gunmen ambushed an Assam Rifles convoy in Bishnupur district of Manipur on Friday evening, killing 2 soldiers and injuring 5 others. The attack took place around 5:50 p.m. when a vehicle-borne column of Assam Rifles troops was moving along National Highway 2 near Nambol Sabal Leikai, a built-up area recently denotified from the Armed Forces Special Powers Act AFSPA. Of Nambol in Manipur's Bishnupur district on Saturday, September 20th, 2025 morning, staged protests against the killing of 2 Assam Rifles personnel in an ambush in the area the previous day. Search operations are being conducted in the area for the attackers and the vehicles used by them, police said. The locals, wearing traditional mourning attire, raised slogans and held placards condemning the attack and for creating fear and panic among the public at a sit-in just 1 kilometer from the ambush spot. Imphal ADGP Ashutosh Kumar Sinha says an ambush has taken place on security forces despite all security forces trying to bring peace and restoration of normalcy.
That is, this ambush has taken place on security force. Despite all security forces are in process of bringing peace and restoration of normalcy.
Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma on Friday reacted to the tragic death of singer Zubeen Garg, saying Assam lost one of its favorite sons. Most popularly known for the song Ya Ali, Zubeen Garg died in Singapore reportedly while taking part in a scuba diving activity.
এই মাত্ৰই ফোনটোত আছে পবিত্ৰ মাৰ্ঘেৰিটা ডাঙৰীয়া তেখেতে মোক জনাইছে যে জুবিন গাৰ্গ ডাঙৰীয়া বা আমাৰ মৰমৰ জুবিন এই সংসাৰত নাই তেখেতে এই সংসাৰৰ পৰা আঁতৰি গৈছে খুব মৰ্মান্তিক ঘটনা মৰ্মান্তিক দুখদায়ক ঘটনা আজি আমি বিজেপি দলে আজি গধূলিও আমি নিৰ্বাচনী প্ৰচাৰ নকৰোঁ মই এতিয়া খালি গুমাত গৈ মানুহখিনিক নমস্কাৰ কৰি মই গুৱাহাটীলৈ তুৰন্ত উভতি যাম তেখেতৰ সৎকাৰ বা কি ধৰণে আমি তেখেতক আনো গোটেই কথাবিলাক গুৱাহাটীত গৈ আমি আলোচনা কৰি অসমবাসী ৰাইজৰ লগতে মই সমগ্ৰ অসমবাসী ৰাইজৰ হৈ কি ক'ম দুখৰ ক'বলগীয়া একো শব্দই নাই শব্দই বিচাৰি পোৱা নাই এটা মৰ্মান্তিক ঘটনা জাতিৰ অপূৰণীয় ক্ষতি জাতিৰ এটা অমূল্য সম্পদ আমি হেৰুৱাই পেলালোঁ
The government's decision to exempt uranium and other strategic minerals from mandatory public consultations has drawn strong reactions in Meghalaya, a state with significant uranium reserves. On September 8, the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change (MOEFCC) issued an office memorandum (OM) excluding atomic minerals, critical minerals and strategic minerals from public hearings under the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act. Meghalaya's West Khasi Hills district, particularly Domesiat and Wakaji, hosts some of the country's largest uranium deposits. Past attempts to mine the minerals have consistently faced oppositions from local communities over environmental, health and tribal right concerns. The National People's Youth Front (NPYF) urged Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council KHADC Chief Executive Member Shenbor Langrinja to invoke the 6th schedule of the Constitution to protect tribal rights. Bajap Pungrop, NPYF working president, said the CEM assured that the issue would be reviewed with the council officials. The Nyotrab Youth Council (HYC) criticized the government for attempting to revive uranium mining in the state. HYC President Roy Kupar Sangram noted that earlier efforts by Uranium Corporation of India Limited (UCIL) were abandoned due to strong local resistance. The Khasi Students' Union (KSU), leading anti-uranium campaigns for decades, condemned the exemption of public consultations as a violation of indigenous rights. KSU President Lambok Marngar warned of intensified protest if mining initiatives resumed. Efforts to exploit Meghalaya's uranium reserves have been stalled for more than 20 years amid ongoing concerns about health risk, environmental damage and the rights of indigenous communities. The untimely death of Assam's musical icon Zubeen Garg during a yacht trip in Singapore has left the Assamese community across the globe reeling in shock and grief. What began as a friendly gathering on the waters of the island nation ended in heartbreak when the beloved singer lost his life in a tragic accident. Speaking to India Today, Abhimanyu Talukdar, president of Assam Association in Singapore, recounted the sequence of events that led to the tragedy. According to him, a private yacht party was organized by Tanmoy Phukan, an Assamese residing in Singapore and a close friend of Zubeen. Though several senior community members, including festival organizers Shyam Kanu Mohanta, had advised against the party given Zubeen's scheduled performance at the Northeast Festival later that evening, Zubeen himself expressed a wish to join the gathering. Crew members attempted CPR at the scene, but their efforts failed. At 5 Assam Minister Prasanta Phukon says arrangements have been made to bring Zubeen here from Singapore in the evening. CM Himanta Biswa Sarma has taken into his hands, "I am sad that Zubeen is no more among us. I had close personal relations with him. We will keep his mortal remains for the last respect at Sarosojai Stadium." Shops remain closed across Guwahati as mark of tribute for singer Zubeen Garg, who lost his life in an accident in Singapore yesterday. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has said his government would conduct an inquiry into singer Zubeen Garg's death.
तो सरकार अभी उनके मॉडल असम में लाने के लिए कैसे व्यवस्था की है और लास्ट राइट्स को लेकर कैसे व्यवस्था बनाई है?
जो जुबिन हमारा बीच में नहीं है ये तो सबका जानकारी है। आज कुछ देर के बाद शाम को जुबिन को यहाँ ले आने का जो व्यवस्था किया है, तो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर हिमंत बिस्वा शर्मा जी ने जो व्यवस्था हाथ में लिया है, तो शाम को आएगा। शाम को लेने के बाद ही यहाँ क्या क्या व्यवस्था करना पड़ेगा, परिवार का साथ बातचीत करके ये कहाँ क्या करना पड़ेगा, ये जो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी कल आपका सामने जो रखा हुआ है, इसी सब का साथ में जुबिन को हमारा बीच में नहीं है, तो मेरा मन में बहुत दुख है, क्योंकि इंडिविजुअली भी जुबिन के साथ हमारा रिश्ता बहुत करीब था। आगे का दिन जो सिस्टम होगा, तो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर हिमंत बिस्वा शर्मा जी ने जो ने बोला, तो उसी हिसाब से हमारा आगे का कार्यक्रम जो रहेगा करना।
होटल को सोलसोदा स्टेडियम में रखने की बात कर रहे हैं दर्शन के लिए।
ये दर्शन के लिए तो रखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अभी देखिए जोरहाट से भी बहुत लोग आ रहा है, तेजपुर से भी बहुत लोग यहाँ आगमन हो रहा है, तो इसका रखने के बाद ही हम कितना दिन यहाँ रखेगा, क्या क्या करेगा, आने के बाद ही जनता का जो विचार रहेगा, जनता का जो सेवा रहेगा, जनता जो मांग रहा है, जनता का जो हिसाब रहेगा, उसी हिसाब से जुबिन को जनता का सामने रखने का जो मकसद है, ये माननीय मुख्यमंत्री हिमंत बिस्वा शर्मा जी ने जो व्यवस्था हाथ लिया है, असम सरकार ने जो व्यवस्था हाथ में लिया है, उसी तरीका से और जनता का साथ सलाह मशवरा करके आगे का दिन हम लोग क्या व्यवस्था करना पड़ेगा, इसको व्यवस्था करना पड़ेगा।
जोरहाट में उन्होंने बताया था, तो जोरहाट में भी उनको उनके मॉडल को ले जाने की कोई व्यवस्था?
ऐसा तो कोई मकसद अभी है ही नहीं। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी जो बताया है, तो ये बात करना पड़ेगा। उसका मेमोरी कुछ रखने के लिए जो जोरहाट का जो दाबी है वो हो सकता है, लेकिन उसका दफन करने वाला जो है वो एक दूसरा चीज होता है, वो अलग होगा। और आपको उसका मेमोरी कुछ रखने के लिए जो व्यवस्था करना पड़ेगा वो शायद जोरहाट में हो सकता है, लेकिन दफन करने वाला बात तो यहाँ का विचार करेगा, परिवार से विचार होगा, गुवाहाटी का जनता का विचार होगा, उसका जो युवा लोग है सबसे बात करके अगले दिन मुख्यमंत्री महोदय जो सही समझेगा वही होगा।
तो आज शाम को उनके मॉडल पहुंचने के
शाम को जरूर पहुंचना है, ये तो बहुत दूर से काम वहाँ चल रहा है। और जो सिस्टम है, जो पोस्टमार्टम वाला बात है, और ये सब करके आगे का दिन जो शाम को अगर पहुंच गया, तो उसका बाद ही ये सही करना पड़ेगा, जब किधर कब करना पड़ेगा, कितना दिन रखेगा, एक दिन रखेगा, 2 दिन रखेगा, ये सोलसोदा स्टेडियम में होगा। और जहां होगा जो सरकार विवेचना करेगा, मुख्यमंत्री जी विवेचना करेगा, उसी तरीके से हम लोग ये व्यवस्था हाथ लेगा।
Meghalaya government denied any large-scale forest land grabbing by the University of Science and Technology Meghalaya and also dismissed allegations of its Assam counterpart that such land grabbing, among other things, has caused massive flooding in Guwahati city. The Meghalaya government's submissions come after the Supreme Court of India asked the state to file a reply in response to the case filed by one Jitul Deka with the Union of India and others as respondents before the Chief Justice of India. The case will be heard against on October 8th. Earlier, the Central Empowered Committee CEC, which advises the Supreme Court on environmental and forest compliance, after going through all reports on Wednesday, recommended a cumulative penalty of Rs 150.35 crore on USTM for diversion of forest land against all rules and without prior approval. In its submission, the Meghalaya government said that land allocation to the USTM was done as per rules and fines were imposed in case of any violations which were realized too. It made clear that in Meghalaya, forest land is not under control of the state government but also of the autonomous district councils, and Apex Court is well aware of it. The state government made it clear that the area of 60.0586 hectare diverted for 400 kV line of NETC is spread in a linear configuration of 10.4 kilometers across Ribhoi district, and not all of it falls within the USTM. In March this year, Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma, while addressing media in the national capital, had defended the USTM, which was charged with various irregularities, including forest land grabbing by his Assam counterpart, Himanta Biswa Sarma. The allegation of the Assam government about flooding in Guwahati due to hill cuttings in Meghalaya was also dismissed by the Meghalayan government. Rainwater flows naturally from the hills in Meghalaya to Assam, which is in a lower elevation, and it is not because of any man-made activities, it said. Interestingly, quoting from the local media from Assam, the Meghalaya government said that rampant construction, unplanned urbanization, encroachment of wetlands have resulted in massive waterlogging in Guwahati. On top of it, there are no proper drainage facilities, and lack of dredging and cleaning of existing natural drains have added to the flooding problem. Guwahati's topography makes it prone to water accumulation, the Meghalaya government maintained. Floods in areas where the river enters into the plains from the hills are an accepted phenomenon, it added. The bail plea of Sonam Raghuvanshi, the prime accused in the sensational murder of Indore businessman Raja Raghuvanshi, could not be heard on Friday by the court of the Judicial Magistrate First Class Subdivision as it lacked jurisdiction. The bail petition will now be committed to the District and Sessions Court, Shillong. Special Prosecutor K.C. Gautam, who opposed the bail plea, said the application was not maintainable before the Sora Court. He further stated that the District and Sessions Court will take cognizance of the matter, after which the trial will begin. Deputy Chief Minister in charge of Urban Affairs Sneha Langdhar has assured that the state government is determined to complete the process of relocation of hawkers from the cantonment and Lankra areas by December. Speaking to media persons, Dhar said that as was done in Khandailat, hawkers in these two locations will also be relocated during the second phase of the exercise. We are on the job. I think we should be able to complete the process of relocating them by December, he said, while informing that the department and Shillong Municipal Board SMB have started the process of identifying place for rehabilitating the hawkers. On August 29, the Meghalaya High Court had directed the SMB to conduct a thorough survey and submit an inventory of all the street vendors operating at Laibkha and ensure not a single additional vendor is allowed to trade in that area. The SMB has filed a report revealing that a large number of hawkers in the area do not possess vending licenses. There are 122 vendors operating in Laibkha area without license, of which 22 were considered eligible under the provisions of the scheme. According to the board, 48 additional vendors had claimed to be street vendors.
How I do in Khandailat? No, it won't affect. Government is always working collectively, all the coalition partners, don't worry on that.
And so when are you going for next phase? Because now we understand.
No, we are on the job as of now while I'm speaking. So I think it should be by December, it should be majority of the place, it should be relocated. We are trying.
How many?
As of now, we are trying to identify the good place for them, because where to put them. So more or less likely we almost get. So it's not appropriate for me to share since the location is not yet finalized. So we are on the job, full swing on the job on this.
By when are you, means how many are you?
Oh, at the earliest possible, I cannot say when. The earlier the better.
How many are you targeting?
No, we are yet on that survey. How many we have to do? There are so many, official and non-official. And we
So-
counted official whoever got this only.
Which are the areas first preference?
GS Road and Line Mukra, I think. Now next to is GS Road, Line Mukra, maybe whoever first.
Minister of Railway Ashwini Vaishnav met workers after the breakthrough event of N2TA and N3TN section. A child gets emotional after PM Modi acknowledges the portrait he brought as a gift for PM Modi.
एक छोटा बालक चित्र बना करके लाया है, कब से खड़ा है, उसके हाथ दुखते होंगे, कोई जरा इसको कलेक्ट करे, छोटा सा बालक है। शाबाश बेटे। चलो बेटा, तुम्हारा चित्र मिल गया, रोने की जरूरत नहीं बेटा, मिल गया चित्र तुम्हारा मिल गया। अगर तुम्हारा एड्रेस उसमें लिखा होगा तो मैं तुझे जरूर चिट्ठी लिखूंगा। साथियों, ये छोटे छोटे बच्चों का प्यार, इससे बड़ी जीवन की पूंजी क्या हो सकती है।
Well, dear viewers, let us now take a look at some fast-track news.
Akhil Bhartiya Vidyarthi Parishad, ABVP, Jovai Unit, successfully organized the Yukyang Nangba Best Student Award 2025 at the District Auditorium, Jovai, to felicitate toppers from every school of Jovai town who excelled in the SSLC and HSSLC examinations 2025. The Education Department, Government of Meghalaya, today organized a special program at the Darbar Hall, Raj Bhavan, Shillong, to mark the release of the Standard Operating Procedure, SOP, and the launch of a dedicated website for the implementation of Section 12(1)(c) of the Right to Education Act, 2009. The of Meghalaya, Shri C.H. Vijayashankar, graced the occasion as chief guest. Meghalaya today witnessed the grand opening of its first-ever state-level Arogya Fair 2025 at the State Convention Centre, Shillong. Organized by the Health and Family Welfare Department, Government of Meghalaya, in collaboration with the National Ayush Mission, the three-day fair, September 18th to 20th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., is drawing huge crowds eager to explore the theme, Prevent, Promote and Preserve the Ayush Approach. Visitors were welcomed with stalls showcasing medicinal herbs, essential oils, and traditional remedies, along with demonstrations of yoga, naturopathy, and Ayurveda practices.
I'm very glad to inform you that we are having a state level Arogya Fair 2025 of Ayush, and this is the first time that we are ever having in our state. And this we are doing it from the Meghalaya state government in collaboration with the Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, and also National Ayush Mission, Meghalaya. So we are trying to involve exhibitors from the state and from outside the state, where from outside the state we are including national institutes like Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy, and even research institutes, and then pharmaceuticals, and also locally from this tourism, and then BRDC, SMPB, State Medicinal Plant Board, even National Medicinal Plant Board also we are inviting, and then we have IEC counter, we have Pitambari products, Dabur Pharmaceuticals, and iMill Pharmaceuticals. All these we are having.
Ma'am, how do you think this will impact, be a positive impact for the people of Meghalaya?
Yes, there will be a great impact to the people because as you know, we here in Meghalaya, we are still very much behind in related to Ayush. People, they do not know much about it. But with the conducting of the state level Arogya Fair, we are inviting people from different places, and then we are inviting college students, and then NIA, NIA is the National Institute of Ayurveda and Homeopathy, so that through them also we can really spread the message, and through media and through printed advertisement, etc. That's how we are trying to reach the public so that they will know more about Ayush. Ayush means Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Sovaripa, and homeopathy.
Okay. So, ma'am, do you think like previously in Meghalaya, a lot of people they were dependent upon all these Ayurvedic plants and medicinal qualities, but now they are forgetting this. Gradually, they are forgetting this. So, it's a good reminder.
Yes, in relation to Ayurveda, this is something new because in the state it has been introduced only in the year 2002 officially. I mean, where we have doctors who have passed BAMS, Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. So through them we are trying to reach to all the public, and even through IEC materials, etc. Okay, we know we have those locals who are giving medicines, no, which is very similar. But the thing is that through Ayurveda, it's more scientific, and then medicines also are prepared in a very scientific way, etc., which is more helpful to the public.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I'm representing the Bioresource Development Center, BRDC. It's located in Upper Shillong. So we are actually, our center are inducting and felicitating the traditional healers of our state, Meghalaya. So currently in our stall, we have 2 traditional healers. So they're presenting their products. So they have treated multiple diseases. Like currently we see products for any tooth disorder. Like we have here for like mouth ulcer, for any gum disorder. We have here for like any kind of arthritis, joint pain. So they varieties of disease they have treated. So you can see here as well, this is for any kind of cysts in the body, or any kind of nodules, or any kind of tumor, even tumor, cancer, few, like not all kind of cancer, few types of cancer they treat. And then I think you have here this product, like they have these for sinus, like this is for eye disorder, this is for like any kind of sinusitis, and they have this is basically for all kind of joint pain, even ulcers they treat, then even piles, any kind of cysts, any kind of abdominal disorder. So, and also they have these millets with them. They have this this is from a plant called Smilac, which they take the root of this plant and they use it for tea, which is very good for abdominal disorder or any kind of abdominal problem or discomfort. So, varieties of disease, but it depends on their specification. We also, from our center, we also help to standardize these kind of healers, that they are genuine. We try to we try to induct them in certain certification program, which is under Northeastern Christian University from Dimapur. So yeah, some of the healers also have got certified from that university. So basically, they call some evaluator and they evaluate them to know that what they're doing, their healing, their product is genuine and it has a potential to treat various kind of diseases.
Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you today. Until we meet again, thank you for watching.